order anything? I was gonna get
Lunchbox.
Yeah. Just got my lunchbox with my next meal in it that I can eat in 6 minutes.
What's your favorite clothing brand right now?
Either Buff Bunny or Bombshell. I'm wearing Buff Bunny pants right now. They're my fave.
Do you change things up during prep or off season?
With what I wear?
Yeah.
Brands or what I wear clothing wise?
Brands.
Typically no. No, I do have a lot of Gymsharks. I like Alphalete, Bombshell, and Buff Bunny.
What's been the biggest challenge so far with Echo and getting clientele and showing them your deliverable, what you can provide?
Honestly, I know this might sound a little cray, but I think finding people that are truly committed to wanting to make a lifestyle change. There's so many people out there that just want to take the shot or want it easy, or they want to tell me I've done everything, and they're not willing to put in the work. They're not willing to be inconvenienced in the slightest bit. I think people don't understand that when you start a fitness journey or you start something, it's going to be inconvenient at first, but then once it becomes a part of your life, it's easy, just like everything else. When you first got your job, it was you didn't want to go to work every single day. You didn't want to have to do this or want to have to do that. It was different, right? And so I think people don't expect that change. And so they just want to just seamlessly fit in their life, and it doesn't make any sense, because it's you're making a change. So because you're making a change and doing something new, it should be a little inconvenient at first. So I think it's finding people that truly want to be committed for a long-term result, not necessarily the short-term, because I don't accept everyone that comes through the wheel. I've turned away probably 5 or 6 clients since I started, and just told them that I wasn't going to work with them, because I have these conversations with them, and if they're just oh, I need this, I need that, I've done this, I've done that, they're not open to anything, or it just sounds like they want some short thing, that's just not what I want. I want girls who are truly committed to wanting to change their lifestyle, and it's hard to find that nowadays. Help
them stay consistent with their motivation.
Honestly, once they start seeing results, motivation comes with results. So once they start feeling better, because they're eating the right things, and they start surprising themselves. At first they're oh my God, I'm going to eat more and lose weight, or oh my God, I'm going to eat more and I'm not going to gain weight, and they get nervous about it. But once they start seeing those results, you get addicted to that, and then you start feeling more comfortable with it, and then again it becomes a part of your routine. So yeah, you need motivation some days for sure, but once it becomes a part of your routine, the motivation's not really there anymore. I mean, sure it is, but they're excited to check in every week. We do check-ins every week, right? So every girl checks in either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so also there's a level of accountability there where throughout their week, they're oh, I got to check in with coach on, Tuesday. I want to make sure I'm lifting extra heavy. I want to make sure I'm doing this. I don't want to report back. They have to fill out a check-in form. That's how well did you do on your execution for your meal plan this week? How well did you do on your execution for your workout plan this week? They don't want to turn in a 5 out of 10 because they don't want to disappoint me, let alone themselves. And so that form of accountability is really great, and that helps with motivation. And I think just when they start seeing results, you start chasing that, and that becomes a motivation. So that's been good. But I am definitely a hype person. I definitely like to hype up my girls. I like to work out with them. They'll train with me. I like to send them texts throughout the week in the morning, especially if I know that they're having a hard week. Hey, how you doing? How's it going? I'll call them. So I really try to keep up with them throughout the day, throughout the week and stuff, and hitting them with those touch points. They always know I'm there, and they're always feeling motivated. So yeah, I would say that's kind of how we do it for the most part.
What's the most common challenge that a new client, or someone who's just very new to the journey in general, what's the most common challenge you see them running into?
Mindset. That's the most common thing. I only coach women, so for so long, I think so many women, the vast majority of women, were told you just need to eat nothing and then you will be skinny, and you just need to do as much cardio as possible and then be skinny. And trying to get someone who's had that mindset for 20 years, 30 years, even just maybe they're 18 years old and they've been on social media staring at edited bodies their whole life, it's very hard to get someone who's been sold that information, women who've been sold that, to be told, hey, no, you actually do need to eat your body weight in protein. Oh, you actually can eat carbs. Oh, you actually don't have to do an hour of cardio every single day. And getting them, because that's fearful. They're scared at first, and they're But then once they do it, and I'm like, don't worry, it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine, then it's good. So that's probably the most common challenge, or the most common thing. I would say like probably 80% of my clients come to me with that challenge. Like they're so afraid to increase the food and stuff like that.
Advantage like for Echo is because you just have so much experience working it within a busy life, whether it's work, school, like.
Yeah, I think it's really easy when you, so like what I always say is like find a coach or like find a trainer or whatever it might be that I don't want to say that does things that you do, right? Because they can understand their life better. You know, like I work full time. I work 40, 50 hours a week for my family's manufacturing company. Most of the time even more. Sometimes even 50 to 60 hours a week. I'm a wife, so I'm taking care of my husband, and I have 3 dogs. I take care of my dogs. I drive a lot. I have a family. I do coaching, you know, all this stuff. So I think when people see me and they're like, oh, like she has her job and she does her fitness stuff and she does bodybuilding, like I can do it too. And so I think that kind of gives me an angle where it allows me to help my clients be better throughout the week, right? Like if I'm like, okay, I know that you go to work, I know that you do this, I know that you do that, let's work within that schedule and figure out how we can do it, because I have to do that for myself. So I'm used to doing that for myself, so I can do it for other people. I will say another advantage too is my husband works shift work, so he's on like really crazy hours, and I've always helped him with his fitness stuff. So like so many, like I have 2 clients actually that work, one works nights and then the other one works like an afternoon shift. So like trying to have someone who's on nights some days, and then when they're off, they're on day shift. Most people don't have experience on like how to help someone how to do that, and like when to eat, when to weigh yourself, when to things like that. And I do. So just because I have that personal experience. So I do think the personal experience that I have in everything that I do in my life, it allows me to be a better coach to help other people fit fitness into their lives easier, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. What's your take on body dysmorphia?
It's way too common in our world, I would say. Way too common. I have it horribly, right? You're like, me too. I think, I don't know, I feel like it comes from a lot of different angles. I can kind of only speak to my own personal experience, but I think number one, like in our society, people are so hyper focused on what people look like. Like everywhere you look, there's like freaking naked bodies. You go online, everybody's got their Photoshop bodies and this and that, and they're in their outfits or they're shirtless at a gym or whatever it might be. So like you're constantly being exposed to like what people look like all the time, and like that forces you to like look at yourself, but then you see yourself in a skewed vision, because it's like you look at yourself every day, so like you're kind of stonewalled to like what you actually look like versus what somebody else sees you as. And I think it's sad. I deal with it a lot. I dealt with it a lot, you know, like with bodybuilding, it's hard too, because, you know, in my off season, I'm like 15 pounds heavier than my stage weight. And then I see myself the leanest that I've ever been when I get on stage. And then it's like to then turn around and be like, oh, like I was 100 pounds on stage, like dry, like lean as a freaking bean. And then it's like seeing myself like that, and then seeing myself as like more of a health and fitness body. To me, I'm like, oh my God, I look fat. Like, but like to someone else, they're like, wow, like you look great or whatever it might be. But it's like to me, because I've seen myself that way. So I don't know. I think I just wish people would be like more. People are people, so like, I'm not going to change the world, but I just wish like social media would like chill on all the bodies and all the people, and like I wish we as people could see ourselves not through like a looking glass, you know.
Yeah. So like on that, how do you? Because I feel like bodybuilding has a lot of phases throughout a year, throughout a season. How do you phase? Because we're in prep now, in the early stages of it. How do you phase out of prep after show?
Yeah, so number one, make sure you have a really good coach. My coach, Alex, he will give me my off-season plan before I even step off stage. So that's the most important thing, because your body is so susceptible to fat gain after a show. And so if you don't have a plan in place, your body can go from, I mean, I'm not joking, I've seen people gain 15 to 20 pounds in 3 days because of how crazy they'll go after a show. And so phasing from prep to an off season this year was so smooth. Like my 2025 competition season going into 2026 off season, super smooth. We increased my calories by like 700 calories the day after my show. And then what we would do is like we'd keep my food the same. We also took my cardio out pretty much immediately. and we would like, my weight would jump up, and then we would like keep food the same, and then right when my food stayed the same for like 3 or 4 weeks, or even if it dipped down, then we'd add in more food, and then we'd do the same thing, keep the food the same, keep it the same, and wait to see like my weight like stabilize out, and then we would add in more food until we got to a point where my body just wasn't moving at all. Like it was like 3-4 weeks, like a month, where like my food was like, my weight was not moving. Then we would like go from there and be like, all right, now we're really going into like a building season, where like maybe we're going into like a small surplus, or like maybe we're doing some high days, like whatever it might be, adding, you know, things like that. So that's how we do it on the diet side. In terms of like my brain, how I handle that, this season from finishing my 2025 season honestly was the best it's ever been. Like in 2023, I had some serious challenges after my show, which I could talk about if you want, but after this one, like I think I just already knew what was going to happen, and I had so much confidence in my coach that he was going to get me exactly where I wanted to go. I can honestly say there was only about a month this off season that I actually felt uncomfortable in my own body, and that was the month before we started prep. So I'm like, I could be uncomfortable for a month, like I could not love the way that I look for a month, but like majority of my off season, like 95% of my off season, I actually loved the way that I looked.
So did you go right from season right to building muscle right out the gate, or how soon was it like, okay, a serious build phase?
So it took about I had to look at my sheet, but about 6 to 7 weeks to like finish my reverse fully, and then it was like right into a muscle building phase. But people will know this, like after a prep, your body is so susceptible to everything. Like you can gain muscle starting like right after your prep once you start increasing your food, because your body's absorbing it so quickly, and so you're like getting in like maybe you only absorb like, I don't know, 50 to 60, 70, 80% of your nutrients like after your show, because you're so depleted, your body's absorbing like 100% of it. So honestly, you build muscle. Like I saw muscle build back up, glycogen go back into my muscles, all kinds of things, like starting right after the show once we started eating more. But we didn't officially start like a building phase until I think it was either 6 or 8 weeks post show.
What's one mistake you see girls mostly make when it comes to entering a stage where they really want to build?
Like starting a prep, like a
No,
mistake that I see.
phase.
Oh, a building. Oh, okay, they want to build muscle. They don't eat enough and they don't train hard enough. Simple as that. Girls think that if they lift heavy, they're going to be bulky. They think that if they eat, they're going to be bulky. No. You're going to get bulky if you eat way too much fats, way too many proteins, way too many carbs. Digestion system's not right. Inflammation's high. You're not training hard to offset what you're eating. It is a calculated thing. Like, I don't know why people are just like, oh, I'm just going to do this and do that. Like, no, there actually is like a legit plan that will get you to your result. And then also, too, like the types of lifts that you do matter, too, right? Like, if you don't want to build muscle across your entire body, right? Like, if you build a chest and you build traps and you build your obliques out, like, yeah, you might look a little blocky because you are building muscles that are going to make you look less shapely, if you will. So like, you have to have a plan. You've got to work the muscles individually. You've got to work the glutes individually, the hamstrings, the shoulders, work those areas that you want to see, but you have to lift heavy. You have to progressive overload in the gym. That's the only way to build muscle. And I think people think, oh, I'm just going to lose all the weight and then I'm going to see muscle. No, if you lose weight, but you don't have the muscle underneath it, then you're not even going to see the muscle when it comes off. And it's funny because I'll have girls sometimes like, I want to go right into a cutting phase, and then they'll like start and then they'll be like, wait, I don't have any muscle. I'm like, yeah, I try to tell you that. So that's definitely the most common thing, is just no plan or consistency in the training, no progressive overload, and either significant, like severely under eating, or they're like, I'm training really hard in the gym, and I'm like, okay, what do you eat in your diet? Oh, I had drinks on Friday, and then I went out Saturday and had Mexican, and then Sunday I had brunch with my friends, and I'm like, okay, so you're telling me 4 out of the 3 days a week you're doing good? That's not gonna work. Yeah, there's the problem identified. So that's definitely, most people don't realize how intense you have to train. That's why I love having my girls come and work out with me at least like once or twice. Your face with this green tea situation. I wish you guys could see it.
That was bad.
feel like I owe you a green tea after this. A real one. What I was saying is that I do, that's why I try to get all of my girls to train with me at least once so they can see the level of intensity that they need to train at to build muscle. And it's so funny because at the end of every one of those workouts, they'll be like, oh my gosh, either I've been doing something wrong or I just have not been training this intense. So I'm like, let's kick it up a notch. And then they go back to the drawing board. They look at their plan differently and they just have a different eye. So, yeah. Intensity is important.
What do you think is the fastest way to validate a goal or idea that someone has in their own mind?
When you say validate, do you mean like?
By meaning, yes, that's something they should pursue.
When it comes to anything in life?
Okay, it's been tough.
Well, we can reference
Unlike you,
coaching
my dad's been
right now, like to have a fitness goal or have a
been really
show.
stressful.
Yeah.
So I've been feeling super depressed the last.
To like determine if that's a good idea or not.
Yeah, it's like, does that fit them
No, yeah.
beyond just something they want?
Yeah. I think number one, is it a true passion or is it not? Because if you're doing a side quest or you're doing bodybuilding or you're taking another step in your career or something like that, number one, it has to be your passion, because without passion, there's no results, right? Like people say it all the time, but like you're gonna go to work every day, so it's either gonna feel like you're going to work every day, or it's gonna feel like you're doing something you love every day. That's the difference. So number one, I think that's the most important. Number two is actually, does this logistically make sense? Like, that's actually probably number one is before your passion. Like, logistically, I think people are like, oh, I'm just going to start this, or oh, I'm just going to start that. Okay, like, let's take my YouTube channel, for example. Oh, I want to start a YouTube channel. Okay, someone wants to start a YouTube channel. Okay, do you have the funds? Do you have the time to edit the videos? Are you hiring someone? If you're hiring someone, do you have the funds? What are you doing for that? How are you promoting it? Like, are you just posting and then never talking about it? What are you doing to get yourself out there? So I think sometimes people skip, like, they have this end goal idea, but they don't realize, like, the chain of, like, logical steps that need to take place. So I think that's probably the number one thing someone has to think about. And if they can get themselves to that point, like, not that you have to have the entire plan put together, but if you have a solid idea of like what needs to be done, and you can accept those things and you can handle those things from a financial standpoint and from a bandwidth standpoint, then go for it. That's what I would say.
She's like a contemplate, as my mother says.
Building Echo, work is work. That always teaches you this.
But even Bethany.
Is there anything that's next or that's on the back burner that people don't know yet that's coming down the road for you?
The only thing that I would say is the growth of Echo. I don't think I have not told anybody exactly what I want to turn this brand into. And so that's probably the thing that's on the, I wouldn't say it's on the back burner. I think it's just, it's not, other things have to fall in place before that next thing that I'm like waiting for. But other than that, yeah, prep, work, and the next phase of Echo is definitely what I'm focused on.
Where can people reach out to Echo right now?
So I'll put a link in the description. I have like a job form that I have everybody fill out. I know it's kind of annoying. Some people are like, I don't like answering these questions. But number one, if you're willing to answer the questions, and I know that you're committed a little bit. And two, it just allows me to learn a little bit more about, who that person is when they fill the form out. So then when I set up a virtual call with them, talk about the program, it kind of gives me a little bit more background on where they're coming from. So I'll leave that link in the description.
What we about to go do?
Okay, I'm so excited. We are about to go to a glute camp, our first Echo Strength glute camp. I'm so excited. So I have out-of-state clients, I have in-state clients that are local, and then I have in-state clients that are not local. So for my in-state clients that are local, I do like to do some Echo Strength team gatherings. So like last month, we did a yoga class. Today we're doing a glute camp. I'm so excited for it. I like have little team leaders. We're doing groups of like 2 to 3. Everyone's got their workout on their phone. I think it's gonna be fun. This is the first time that we're getting. So last month, there wasn't as many girls that were able to make it, so not everybody really got to meet each other. But a lot of the local people, there's going to only be 2 local people that were supposed to be there today that weren't able to make it, that they weren't able to meet the other people out in the area, which I think is super important, because I think when you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and that's a huge bonus of the Echo Strength community, is like surrounding yourself with like-minded people and like-minded women. Like, I bet you some of my girls are going to start working out with each other after this workout, like because they get to know each other and things like that. So yeah, we're going to do a glute camp, talk to the girls how to grow their glutes. We're all about building legs in the Echo Strength program. We got some girls that can push it. on the lower body days. Impressively. Alrighty, the glute camp went great. Everybody did such a good job. I love getting everybody together and meeting each other, and I'm super excited to do another one. Rest of the day, we gotta hit glutes and hamstrings again today, last lift of the week, and get some stuff done around the house. So thank you guys for watching, and if you have interest in coaching with me, be sure to use the link in the description, and I'll see you next time.